Welcome to our lesson on understanding different question types in the listening module. In this video, we will explore the various question types that you are likely to encounter in the listening section of the exam. By understanding the nature of each question type and learning effective strategies, you will be equipped to approach the tasks with confidence and accuracy, from multiple choice questions to matching, form completion, sentence completion, and summary completion questions. We will delve into each type, discussing key strategies and providing helpful tips. By the end of this lesson, you will have a solid understanding of how to tackle different question types, enhancing your listening skills and boosting your chances of success in the listening module. Let's dive in. Multiple choice questions. The listening module assesses candidates' ability to comprehend spoken English across various question types. One of the most common question types is multiple choice questions. In this section, we will delve into the nature of multiple choice questions and explore effective strategies to tackle them. Multiple choice questions in the listening module typically require candidates to listen to a conversation, monologue, or dialogue and select the correct answer from a set of options. These options can include statements, descriptions, or responses related to the audio. While listening to the audio recording, there will be a section for listening multiple choice questions. The multiple choice questions are of two types: multiple choice questions with one answer and multiple choice question with two or more answers. There are questions that have one or more answers. For those type of questions, you would have to listen keenly to identify all the answers from the options given. There are a few things you would have to keep in mind while you're answering multiple choice questions. You will hear all the options that are given to you in the question. You would have to listen to the audio and interpret the answer from what is asked in the question. Sometimes, the answer options might be of the same kind to confuse you. For instance, it might all be in the form of dates, like the 5th of November, 17 November, or the 18th of November. You would have to read the question and choose the correct answer. The words used in the question might not be the exact words that you hear in the audio recording, so you'd have to pay attention to synonyms and how the words are paraphrased. The information provided in the audio recording might not be in the same order as the questions asked. So in order to answer the questions correctly, you should have read the questions beforehand to be aware of what is being asked. There would be a lot of distractors in the audio recording. There would be a lot of similar kind of information. Sometimes, the speaker might give us any information and then change it, which might be the correct answer. So, do not rush and write down the answer as soon as you hear it. To effectively answer multiple choice questions, it is essential to follow these strategies. Number 1. Pre-listening preparation. Before the audio starts, quickly read through the instructions and the options provided. This will give you a clear understanding of what to listen for and enable you to anticipate the type of information you need to focus on. Number 2. Skim the options. Skim through the options to get an idea of the possible answers. This will help you stay focused during the listening task and eliminate any options that are obviously incorrect. Number 3. Listen carefully. Pay close attention to the audio recording. Concentrate on the relevant information that relates to the options provided. Note down any keywords or phrases that can help you identify the correct answer. Number 4. Eliminate incorrect options. After listening to the audio, compare the information you heard with the options provided. Eliminate any options that are clearly incorrect based on the information you have gathered. Number 5. Analyze similar options. Sometimes, multiple options may seem plausible. In such cases, carefully analyze the subtle differences in meaning or context. Consider the keywords, synonyms, or paraphrases used in the audio, and the options to identify the most accurate answer. Number 6. Be mindful of traps. Watch out for traps or distractors in multiple choice questions. These can be options that are partially correct, but not the best answer. Stay focused on the information provided in the audio and avoid making assumptions or relying solely on your prior knowledge. Number 7. Transfer answers accurately. Once you have selected the correct answer, make sure to transfer it accurately to the answer sheet. Pay attention to spelling, grammar, and any word limits specified. By familiarizing yourself with the nature of multiple choice questions and employing these strategies, you can approach this question type with confidence and accuracy. Map labeling questions. For these types of questions, you would be provided with a map and you would have to label the places on the map. There are two types of questions. A list of words might be given to you, and you'd have to listen to the recording and choose the correct word that fits the blank on the map. There won't be a list. You would just listen to the audio and identify the place on the map. There are a few things you would have to keep in mind while you're answering map labeling questions. For example, there would be directions to a place or some kind of tour, Read the instructions before you begin so that you'll know the word limit of the blanks. Description of the location. Listen to words that best describes the location given. For example, below the park, next to the supermarket, etc. Look at the question numbers. Look at the question numbers and identify the flow of the map. That would help you listen to what's coming next. The audio recording would provide you with an understanding of where you are, where you have to begin. Pay attention to it at the beginning of the recording. Also, listen to nearby places and clues to help find the answers. Matching questions. Another question type commonly encountered in the listening module is matching questions. Matching questions require candidates to match items or information provided in the audio with a list of options or categories. Here are some key strategies to tackle matching questions effectively. Read the instructions and options. Begin by carefully reading the instructions and the options provided. Understand the nature of the matching task and the type of information you need to listen for. Skim the options and categories. Skim through the list of options or categories to get a sense of what to expect. This will help you anticipate the type of information you need to listen for during the audio. Focus on keywords as you listen to the audio. Pay attention to keywords or phrases that are likely to match with the options or categories. Note down these keywords to help you make accurate connections later. Listen actively to the audio and concentrate on the information that corresponds to the options or categories. Be prepared for paraphrasing or synonym, as the information might be presented differently from what you read in the options. Use contextual clues. Sometimes, the audio may provide contextual clues that can help you make connections. Pay attention to the relationships between different pieces of information and use them to match the correct items. Be aware of order. Matching questions may require you to match items in a specific order. Listen carefully for any indicators or cues that suggest the sequence of information. Check for accuracy. Once you have made your matches, review your answers to ensure they are accurate and correctly correspond to the options or categories. Pay attention to any word limits or spelling requirements. In our next videos, we'll practice solving these questions with different sample questions and examples. Check for grammar and spelling. When completing the form or notes, ensure that your answers are grammatically correct and accurately spelled. Incorrect grammar or spelling can result in losing marks. Transfer answers carefully. Once you have completed the form or notes, transfer your answers accurately to the answer sheet. Double-check the spelling, grammar, and any word limits specified. Sentence completion questions or summary, note or table, flowchart completion questions. Sentence completion questions in the listening module require candidates to listen for specific information and complete sentences or summaries by filling in the missing words or phrases. These questions assess both listening comprehension and vocabulary skills. To effectively approach sentence completion questions, follow these strategies. Skim the sentence or summary before the audio starts. Quickly read through the sentence or summary that needs to be completed. Understand the context and the type of information you need to listen for. Predict missing words. Based on the information provided in the incomplete sentence or summary, make predictions about the type of words or phrases that are likely to complete the sentence correctly. Look for clues such as verb forms, noun phrases, or contextual hints. Listen carefully for contextual clues. As you listen to the audio, pay close attention to the surrounding context. Look out for keywords, synonyms, or paraphrases that can help you identify the missing words or phrases. Note possible options. Make a note of possible options as you listen to the audio. If you hear words or phrases that match your predictions, write them down and consider them as potential answers. Grammar and word form. Consider the grammar and word form required to complete the sentence correctly. Pay attention to subject-verb agreement, verb tenses, or any other grammatical cues provided in the audio. Eliminate incorrect options. After listening to the audio, compare the options you noted down with the information provided. Eliminate any options that do not fit the context or do not make grammatical sense. Check for coherence. Ensure that the completed sentence or summary is coherent and logically fits with the context. Double-check the grammar, word order, and any word limits specified. In the listening module, understanding the different question types is crucial for achieving a high score. By familiarizing yourself with the nature of each question type and employing effective strategies, you can approach the tasks with confidence and accuracy. Multiple choice questions require careful listening, skimming the options, and eliminating incorrect choices. Matching questions demand active listening, keyword recognition, and attention to context. Form completion and note completion questions require a focus on keywords, chronology, and careful transfer of answers. Sentence completion questions necessitate prediction, attentive listening, and coherence checking. Summary, note, table, and flowchart completion questions demand analysis of context, identification of keywords, sequencing, and coherent completion. Practice is key to honing your skills in tackling these question types. Utilize sample tests and official exam materials to familiarize yourself with the different question types and refine your listening comprehension abilities. With dedicated preparation and effective strategies, you can excel in the listening module and achieve your desired score.